Fox News anchor confronts Trump Chief of Staff Mulvaney over ballooning deficit, pointing out it big. Although then-candidate Donald Trump promised in 2016 to eliminate the national deficit if he was elected president, the deficit has actually ballooned significantly since he took office and is projected to grow substantially moving forward. Fox News anchor, after the Wallace asked how Mulvaney and the Trump administration could support such significant increases to the deficit, particularly when the president had promised to do precisely the opposite. Take. Wallace pushed back, pointing out that Trump enjoyed Republican control of both chambers of Congress during his first 2 years as president and still did not pass budgets that reduced the deficit. Mulvaney responded, Democrats strongly objected to the cuts to popular social programs, compromising by granting Republicans and Trump significant increases to military spending in order to garner bipartisan support. Democrats and Trump has cheered the deal and urged the Senate to pass the legislation. He has argued that another major reason for the ballooning deficit are the president's signature tax cuts, which have been projected to add nearly $2 trillion to the national debt over the next decade. Trump and Republicans